I have no fucking words right now. I'm utterly fucking speechless. I'm so fucking speechless right now that I need a random YouTuber to put my thoughts into words.
Cringe. There's no other word for it. This makes me cringe. It's embarrassing.
Thank you, Folding Ideas, for perfectly summing up my thoughts on fucking Home Sweet Home Alone. I think I may have spoken too soon about He's All That being the worst remake I've ever seen in my life. Let's be real. Home Sweet Home Alone is a straight-up remake set in the John Hughes continuity. I hate the phrase ruined my childhood. It ranks up there with the assholes who use woke and SJW as pejorative terms. I never thought I would use the phrase ruined my childhood in my life. In fact, I even condemn people who use that phrase in my Ghostbusters 2016 review. I'm not being hyperbolic here. Home Sweet Home Alone ruined my childhood. Every Thanksgiving, my family would tune into NBC to watch Home Alone after our meal. It was comfort food every year for me. This film holds a very special place in my heart. But because Disney had to pick at the carcass of the Home Alone franchise for cynical reasons, purely for content, I'm going to war. Here's the kicker. Disney thought that this would be an internet-breaking movie as they decided to release this on Disney Plus Day. Somehow, Home Sweet Home Alone got more promotion than The Night House, The Last Duel, and The French Dispatch, all good movies, all at once. Home Sweet Home Alone sees Max, left home alone.
He said it!
After falling asleep watching Wile E. Coyote cartoons. Gee, thanks, movie, for reminding me that I should be watching The Genius of Chuck Jones. Prior to this, Max and his mom walk into a down-their-luck couple trying to sell their house, and a priceless heirloom of theirs turns up missing. So this couple has to get back that heirloom by any means necessary. Home Sweet Home Alone has the feel of a direct-to-video Home Alone movie that somehow got actual talent behind it. This is the type of movie you do before a huge controversy happens in your career. Case in point, 9 Lives just screams of, Kevin, if you don't do this, we will tell the world you raped Anthony Rapp when he was a minor.
I hate cats!
That's what makes this so perfect.
It's quite possibly the only reason that I can think of that they got Ellie Kemper. Ellie, we've come across some photos of you in a KKK robe. It would be a shame if these got leaked to Twitter. Miss Veiled Prophet Queen 1999. The film was written by Mikey Day and Streeter Siddell. Wait. Those names sound familiar. Writers Mikey Day, Bobby Moynihan, and Streeter Siddell were all enamored by the viral clip Little Superstar, which featured a breakdancing Indian man who stopped every time the music stopped. 2 of the guys who created David S. Pumpkins wrote this. Wow. Talk about a fucking dip in quality. Where do I even fucking start? I seriously don't know where to fucking start. How about the premise? There's a solid idea here. Have the bandits be the main characters and give them a sympathetic angle. But here's the problem. Home Alone should have never been a franchise. I rewatched Home Alone 2 Lost in New York for the first time in a while. It doesn't hold up, as it is literally the same film all over again, but in a more expensive locale. Basically, it was the OG Hangover Part 2. But there are some things about it that work. Tim Curry just Tim Currying the fuck out of the role of the snobby concierge head. Also, this match cut of the Grinch and Tim Curry is genuinely great. I love Brenda Fricker's character in this film. I like that Kevin doesn't think of himself and decides to save a toy store's charity drive. Also, yes, I wanted that talk boy when I was a kid. But putting him in a random unseen relative's house doesn't quite hold up plot-wise. For research purposes, I watched Home Alone 3 for the first time. The film marked the feature film debut of Raja Gosnell, who served as the editor on the first two Home Alone films, and some actress who recently received some critical acclaim for a little indie film she did this year called Black Widow. It's bad.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
Home Alone 3 doesn't work because the kid is sickeningly sweet. Jake Lloyd is a better actor in The Phantom Menace than he is. Also, there is a bizarre plot involving international terrorists and a microchip, and it does not work. Sadly, this was a part of Hugh's suck period. The first Home Alone could easily be solved with cell phones. Home Sweet Home Alone could easily be solved by knocking on the fucking door. These two know where this kid lives. But we wouldn't have a fucking movie now, would we? And granted, they tried doing this as the family was all getting ready to fly to Tokyo, but they still know where this kid is. They've seen him already. They could just knock on the door. Then there's Max. Fuck Max. 10 minutes into this movie and I wanted to take my belt off and beat his fucking ass. I detested this little shit from the second he first appeared. Seriously, the kid from Fat Man who sends a hitman out to assassinate Santa Claus is less evil than this fucking kid is. The difference between Kevin and Max is that Kevin is well-intentioned. In Home Alone, he is clearly the black sheep of the family. There are two instances in the Home Alone opening scene where he is in the right. When Kevin asks his siblings to help him pack his suitcase and they say no, after asking his mother to help pack his suitcase, and Buzz egging him on within parental earshot to where they could clearly hear Buzz taunting him, but then they blame Kevin. Max, on the other hand, is a spoiled, rotten rich kid who is the biggest piece of shit on the planet. For fuck's sake, he straight up cons a granny into giving him a super soaker. Because I totally want to see a rich kid fire pool balls at a lower middle class man's head in the name of fucking comedy. So let's talk about how fantastic Home Alone is for comparison purposes. If you want a masterclass in exposition, look no further than the opening scene of Home Alone. The film establishes Harry, who is disguised as a cop, as the villain with him having a gold tooth. Kevin's dad yells at Kevin for leaving micro machines on the floor and playing with a glue gun, both of which come into play later in the film. As the film progresses, Kevin gets an actual arc going from being a spoiled brat to realizing he misses his family, and then he learns to conquer his fears. In addition to John Williams' score being wildly underrated, you would think that this score would be making All I Want for Christmas Is You money, but you barely hear it played on Christmas radio. John Williams out Mannheim Steamroller's Mannheim Steamroller was Set the Trap. That is such a god-tier John Williams theme. Everything about Home Alone is fucking great. Home Sweet Home Alone has none of this. This film is in such a hurry to get going that characters just speak in exposition dumps.
Well, here they are, Pam and Jeff McKenzie, the owners.
Hi.
Rob Delaney's Jeff is your prototypical idiot character. Ellie Kemper's Pam is apparently a teacher, but we never see her in that setting to endear her to the audience. It's a classic example of why you should use show, don't tell. As the family is leaving, college humor Batman is blurting out codes to God and everybody. Jesus, I could rob this family's house. Then there's the writing. If you feel the need to have this line of dialogue in your screenplay,
Oh, this is garbage. I don't know why they're always trying to remake the classics. Never as good as the originals.
delete it and start over. That is the fucking understatement of the century with Home Sweet Home Alone. Thanks, movie, for reminding me that I should be watching Home Alone again. Anytime I hear that hacky bullshit line, I dock a star automatically. And straight out of the gate, Home Sweet Home Alone has no stars with me to begin with. So let's talk about humor. In Home Alone, there is perfect timing in every moment. Hughes is a master of knowing when to have a laugh beat and when to let a scene play naturally. SCTV legends John Candy and Catherine O'Hara improvised an entire conversation, and it's one of the best scenes of Home Alone. Then you have Harry and Marv. Harry and Marv work as a duo because Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern aren't exactly comedic actors. Joe Pesci was in Goodfellas the same year, and at the time, Daniel Stern was the narrator of The Wonder Years and was more of a capital A actor who just happened to appear in comedies. Seriously, listen to him narrate The Wonder Years and then watch him as Marv in Home Alone. Daniel Stern is a criminally underrated actor. Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney, while both of them are great in other things, are just playing their archetypes here. The adorable redhead and the naive doofus. But Pesci and Stern have this Three Stooges level synergy together. Kevin sets up these elaborate traps, and it's hilarious when they get hurt because they are villains. Hell, in Home Alone 2, Harry straight up threatens Kevin with a gun. Compare this to the humor of Home Sweet Home Alone. I'm not laughing at Jeff and Pam's pain because these two are trying to make ends meet. Jeff getting hit in the face with a pool ball gun by a rich white kid isn't funny. Marv getting pelted by bricks in Home Alone 2, on the other hand, is fucking hilarious because Kevin is in clear danger and has the upper hand. Even in the first Home Alone, the family is loaded, yes, but Kevin is still in imminent danger. With Home Sweet Home Alone, again, there is a solid idea in Max having a wild imagination. He literally thinks that Pam and Jeff wants to kidnap him and sell him to old ladies. But he's such a little shit that it doesn't land. Also, he is about 10. This angle would work if he were 3 years younger. Hey, remember the scene in Home Alone where Marv rips a wet fart in the van while strategizing? No? Home Sweet Home Alone thinks kids are stupid.
I'm sorry.
The first two Home Alone movies didn't talk down to kids with fart jokes. Fuller is a bedwetter, sure, but we don't see him wetting himself or the bed. It's implied. Remember when Kevin dressed up as Scarface just because? No. Home Sweet Home Alone is the worst example of pandering fan service I've ever seen in my life. The Rise of Skywalker at least tried to have a story. You have scenes like the aforementioned Angels with Filthy Soul scene, a little kid doing the Kevin scream pose because first movie, Tom Petty's Christmas All Over Again plays in a scene because Home Alone 2. Also, this line delivery pisses me off so fucking bad!
Giving up yet, or are you thirsty for more?
Literally, the only forced chuckle I got out of this was Buzz revealing that Kevin, now a security millionaire, plays tricks on him. Here's what that laugh sounded like.
A McAllister home alarm system.
That was literally my laugh during that scene. That was me trying to find some enjoyment in this film. Even then, that scene felt studio mandated. I'm sure Macaulay Culkin took a look at the script and said, nah, I got a gig with Pizza Underground. So they found the cheapest actor possible from the original movies. But man, oh man, do I fucking hate this ending. This ending gaslights you into finding sympathy for this little piece of shit. So it turns out Max grabbed an orange soda and not Jeff and Pam style. They offer to take him in until his mother comes back. This ending is so unearned. Never mind the fact that this child tormented a lower middle class couple for comedy, but caused tons of damage to that expensive house he lives in. And we're supposed to feel sorry for him. Then his mom comes back to Jeff and Pam's house, and the Great Value brand John Williams Home Alone theme plays. In Home Sweet Home Alone, I barely knew enough about the mother for this to connect with me, so it didn't work. Home Alone 2, on the other hand, Kevin's mom is ready to shank a motherfucker trying to find Kevin. Seriously.
I'll be fine. The way I'm feeling right now, no mugger or murderer would dare mess with me.
But then a year later, these two families are the best of friends. No. I don't buy for a second that these two families would be BFFs. Never mind the fact that they had to pay for damages that this little shit himself caused, but more than likely had to pay mountains of medical debt from injuries sustained. But hey, they got their house back. I went into Home Sweet Home Alone with an open mind. John Hughes has been dead for 12 years. Of course it's not going to live up to his legacy. I ended up seething with rage watching what Disney did to one of my all-time favorite movies. This film is a mean-spirited, colossal waste of talent. Seriously, Chris Parnell is in this film for 10 seconds and he is never heard from again. Archie Yates played my favorite character in Jojo Rabbit, and he is insufferable in this film. I weep for children who watch Home Sweet Home Alone. Please, if you have children, show them the first two Home Alone movies, and for the love of God, just put the Home Alone franchise out of its fucking misery. Disney is slowly destroying the 20th Century Fox brand by just picking at their franchises and not creating anything original, while meanwhile, The Night House and The Last Duel had to fucking suffer because they couldn't put a fucking lightsaber scene in either of those. But hey, the 90s X-Men cartoon is getting a revival at Disney Plus! Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word of New Realms Media. Follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media. And until then, I'll see you next time. As for Home Alone 4 and the Holiday Heist,
We don't really talk about this.